from what we see in the industry, PR is generally seen as almost a third-class citizen to advertising and marketing in a lot of ways. Do you see, I guess, following Qantas's example, is there a room for PRs to go forward? Is there, what's holding PR back from being recognised on the same level?
PR sometimes gets caught up in the public relations of media and managing crisis. And in our industry, there is a lot of management of the media around what's happening with government, what's happening in the airline and so on. And those resources often get sucked into that space. And I think that's where it's important for, with the agencies I've worked on before, I haven't seen a whole lot of PR solutions come through. So then you go, okay, we'll bring in a PR agency into the mix as well. But I think, from a media point of view, from a creative point of view, the solutions have to be, paid, digital, PR, etc., because it can get sucked into that space pretty quickly. We're also seeing, continually the power of integration across when we do align all of those owned, earned, paid channels, as you said, particularly with experiential social, then really just using paid media as the prime, where we're getting the bang for our buck, particularly offshore in markets like Asia, where we just don't have $100 million to go and spend on TV campaigns and that sort of thing.
Okay, I suppose to that point, to anyone else in the panel, where does your PR agency sit on the pecking order for you? Is it an equal around the table, or?
Yeah, my advice to you, is if you can get yourself included at the briefing stage, for the idea, whatever the brief is, as a partner, alongside the creative agency, the media agency, digital agency, whatever. That's certainly how we do it. We have the PR agency right there at the briefing. Then, even if they are not necessarily coming up with the idea themselves, they're certainly contributing to it. And definitely what they're doing is they're thinking about how that idea that is created can then be applied in the space that they're going to be taking on. So be right up front, right at the beginning of the process.
We all know that emotion sells, and we've all got these devices nowadays which can harness the power of image and sound at the same time. And so I'm wondering if you could give me some idea of what you think your brands actually sound like.
That's a good question. I have lots of alcoholic brands.
Yeah, I'm fascinated, Matt.
Some of them are interesting at 2 a.m. That's a really random and ridiculous question, but I kind of like it for that. Cool. Pick one. I mean, our corporate brand sounds a bit like a pack of wild dogs doing crazy stuff to try and entertain next generation consumers to love booze. And then our individual brands, Smirnoff sounds like the hands in the air party as music cranks at 2 a.m. So each brand has its own sound, and we have a list of 12 or 15 brands that you would hear, right? Tanqueray sounds like the great sound of ice clinking on a glass at 5:30 as you've knocked off works and entertain your friends and talk about how bad your day was, right? So each has their own specific sound.
Michael, is it a cow?
Yes.
Well, we try not to remind people of where it came from. So, but for us, selling beef is very seasonal. So in winter it's about that it's that warmth. It's that cosy feeling. In summer it's a sizzle of the steak. It's about the barbecue. It's being with your mates. It's having a few bundies or beers or whatever.
A T-bone, baby.
Yeah, and a T-bone. So there's lots of emotion. Even though
harmony there.
even though we're selling, the brand that we sell at MLA is a category. We're selling beef, we're selling lamb. But some of you might have seen, the Barbie Girl campaign last year for Sam Kekovich. So, we are trying to put emotion around a category to sell it like anybody else, and mobile devices and any way we can personify that brand is really important.
Okay, and just quickly, Kent.
Yeah, for us it very much depends on the country. If we were, what sounds would you hear in Asia, in the US? It would be very traditional Australia, Ayers Rock, Great Barrier Reef, koala bears, didgeridoos, etc. And it would be very different in domestic markets. It'd be much more around best of contemporary Australia, design, aspiration, and with a hint of premium in there as well. So it's very market dependent. It always surprises me at how that traditional Australia and how the rest of the world sees our country works in different campaigns. But I think that'd be the short answer.
Okay, and John, just really quickly here.
Yeah, look, I think your question's a really good one because sound does have a really important role to play in connecting with your consumers through advertising or whatever. You know, whether you look at Millward Brown or whatever, whether you try and create an enduring brand property through sound, lots and lots of opportunity. I think certainly from a Kellogg perspective, we've got brands that do work on sound. So, for example, LCMs. You know, for us, it's very much around that excited playground, recess sound, for a good example. But we have other brands where we're looking at this, interestingly.